EWA 517, do you want to report a UFO? Over.
Negative. We don't want to report.
Look, it wasn't my worst Wednesday night.
Hello, thank you for joining me. I'm Smiles Lewis. Welcome to an edition of Anomaly Now and Then for August 29th, 2025. This is an irregularly unscheduled program, and we just wanted to bring your attention to something very interesting and important that we've been sitting on for about a week or two or three or longer. There is some big, interesting news in the world of UFO research and the possibility of uncovering new evidence that has been long hidden away, kept from the public, except for a few viewers here and there. We are, of course, speaking of the legendary research of Ray Stanford. Ray Stanford is legendary, infamous, a fantastically interesting character in the long history of modern ufology. Sadly, he passed away just a couple of months ago in June of 2025. And of course, many people have been concerned about the status of his archives and his research materials, but particularly all the hundreds of photographs and many films taken with old style film cameras, allegedly of UFOs. This has been a point of contention for many years because this material has never really seen the light of day as much as people have wanted it to. But you can find out more about Ray Stanford by going to anomalyarchives.org and looking for our Ray Stanford page. You can see images of it here. We're just wanted to update you on this amazing situation. Were recently informed by our good friend Chris Lambright, who is the author of X Descending and was a longtime friend of Ray Stanford's, as well as Paul Benowitz. And that friendship is what led him to write his book called X Descending, Two Startling Films, and the facts behind them reveal once and for all the existence of an incredible technology behind the UFO phenomenon. And yes, you can go to our Anomaly Archives page for Christian Lambright and find out information about that. But at the tops of both of these pages, you will see this recently added link for Ray and all of us. Fundraiser by Chris Lambright to digitize Ray Stanford's archives, which links over to spotfund.com. And yes, as we mentioned, you can go to xdeskpublishing.com, which is Chris Lambright's website for his book, X Descending, and learn more about him and his long history of interest in the UFO phenomena. And you can purchase his book there. But the big news is, yes, there is now a fundraiser to preserve Ray Stanford's UFO evidence, long sought after. And you can go over to the spotfund.com page for that, linked in the show notes here, as well as on the pages at Anomaly Archives for Chris Lambert's page, as well as Ray Stanford's page. He is seeking about $10,000 to fund the digitization, the cataloging and digitization of these materials that are remaining. As Chris says here, for Ray and all of us, Ray Dene Stanford, a most extraordinary individual, passed away on June 14, 2025 at the age of 86. In his lifetime, Ray experienced a number of significant UFO sightings, beginning in 1954 with a late-night encounter on South Padre Island, Texas. This event, witnessed by 11 people, including a Texas State Highway patrolman and 2 deputy sheriffs, was photographed on black and white film using a small aperture Kodak camera. The brilliant dome disc changed from an orange-amber color to a much brighter Kelly green as it passed overhead at high speed. This encounter was later featured on the cover of Fate magazine for May 1956. And one of the most interesting things noted to note in this announcement is Almost exactly 1 year before Ray passed away, a respected aerospace engineer sought him out, and they began work on a book centered on one of Ray's most profound films. This film was successfully authenticated and digitized, and soon after, I was asked to assist them. There's a lot more to the backstory of this, and I would encourage you to at least go and read over this fundraiser and perhaps consider donating to Chris's efforts. I think this is a worthy cause. Others like researchers Martin Willis and James Klotz have already donated. This is really breaking news. It's only been made public in the last 24 to 48 hours, and we're very excited to let our Anomaly Archives community know about this. Now, coming up in just a moment, we're going to play 2 short clips, each about 2 minutes long, that are from our archives. You can find this information online, but it's always interesting to put it together in support of our friends Chris Lambright as he tries to help an old acquaintance of mine, Ray Stanford, now that he's passed on. But you can go to the Wikipedia page for Arthur C. Clarke's Mysterious World. This was a television series that began airing in 1980, and they did an episode on UFOs that featured footage of Ray Stanford and his PSI, Project Starlight International, here in Austin, Texas, out in the west part of the city near the lake. And in this show, it identifies it as Leander, Texas. It might as well be whatever. And then also we're going to play a clip where more recently, several years ago, on Greg Bishop's Radio Mysterioso show, Ray Stanford retold the story of how he had a sighting back on the anniversary of the birth of the modern UFO era, June 24th, 1967, that is listed in the Project Blue Book files as an unknown and unidentified, that they could not identify what it was. And this occurred here in Austin at Mansfield Dam. So we hope you'll enjoy those clips, and we'll be around. This is going to be a very short episode. We just wanted to get this news out and let you know about it. So check it out.
Trying to trap a UFO is now big business. In the scrubland of Texas, Ray Stanford heads Project Starlight International with $1 million worth of equipment. The laser is to signal to spaceships his goggles in case they answer back. The aim is to use the highest technology to establish beyond doubt that craft from other times or worlds are visiting the Earth. Centerpiece of Project Starlight's armory is a computer to monitor UFO activities in the area.
When if this line doesn't begin to show up, I'll turn it
This is an Operation Argus alert. Please proceed as you have been instructed.
The computer automatically calls up spotters to scan the skies. And it really hits the panic button if a landing is indicated. With techniques like these, Stanford hopes to add to the evidence he's already amassed. Like this film he shot at Corpus Christi in Texas in 1959.
After extensive endeavor to explain it, neither the Air Force nor the National Investigation Committee on Aerial Phenomena could come up with any ordinary explanation. I don't know what it was, but it was tubular and bright, and small objects came and departed at high speed. We have motion picture films, magnetometer recordings, sound recordings, and a whole variety of data that begin to make us think that UFOs are technological, that they're really not something natural after all, but something not only technological, but highly sophisticated and capable of speeds and accelerations far beyond anything that we've ever dreamed of. In fact, we've really been surprised at how fast these things can move that we've tracked. And frankly, I would say that they simply don't originate on the Earth, at least any place on the earth that I know of. If the Soviet Union has that kind of technology, God help the free world. And if the free world has it, God help the Soviets.
In 1967, June, on the anniversary of the Kenneth Arnold thing, I had gone out alone by myself out to the Mansfield Dam, and it had an incredible UFO encounter in which a UFO that was passing over an elongated cigar-shaped thing, glowing kind of a bluish color, I had foolishly pointed a big spotlight at it and began to flash a abbreviated form of pi, and it stopped. And then I got real scared, and I was glad I had my 225-pound St. Bernard dog with me in my little Volkswagen Bug. But there's more to that story. But when I got back into town, I had called Bergstrom to merely see if they would take an interest, their reaction. And so they took down certain information and thanked me. So anyway, took the report, and believe it or not, much to my surprise, when, I did get, after I had moved from Austin down to Corpus Christi, I did get a letter from Hector Quintanilla saying they didn't have enough information. Well, I wrote him a letter really telling him off. I said, that's ridiculous. And I named the officer from Intel. I said, I get so much information. I said, if you don't have enough information to analyze this, then there's something wrong with the system. I said, this man was very careful. And I said, frankly, I think you're doing this, just to try to get only a few details and claim you don't have better, and therefore you will say that there was insufficient information to determine that it was an unidentified object or that it was a known object. But I said, you better not write this one off, Hector. I put that in the letter. And sure enough, when the Blue Book Files came out, you'll see that for Austin, they listed it as Austin, Texas. That's the nearest main known place to Mansfield Dam, which is out west of Austin in the hill country. They listed as a true unidentified. But this intelligence officer seemed to have a lot of confidence in the truthfulness and accuracy of my reporting.
Again, we hope that you'll consider donating to Chris Lambright's fundraiser for the cataloging and digitization of the archives of legendary UFO researcher, contactee, channeler, psychic, many, many things. A legend of the old UFO scene, Ray Stanford. Yes, please check out his fundraiser at spotfund.com. And of course, like I said, you can visit Chris Lambright's xdeskpublishing.com to find out more about his book X Descending, or you can visit our website and look at the information there, links to past interviews with Christian Lambright, and then also our page on Ray Stanford. All right, thank you, and keep listening, keep watching the skies.